Good morrow, everyone. It's the Arrogant Atheist here again to remind you of shit that should be obvious because you're adults and it's 2017. The podcast, hopefully it's coming out soon. We're looking at Mythicistopia. Mythicistopia. It's like utopia for mythicists, get it? All right, everybody in Mythicistopia is a mythicist of one kind or another. And we're going to examine the myth of circumcision. And I open a link from a friend who sends me a link to this one from the BBC. Mum opened nappy to find son had been circumcised. Without her knowledge, apparently, mom opens the diaper of a baby to find that the baby has been, in fact, circumcised without her consent or knowledge. She freaked right out, almost fainted. And then you look into it a little bit further, and it turns out his grandparents on one side were Muslim. And so people forget that it's not just Jews who have religious circumcision, it's Muslims too. So, and compared to Jews, Muslims are like a massive sector of the populace on the planet right now, right? Jews are like way down the list. We think of it as being, it's not really a big religion. It's, the big three are, Islam, Christianity, and Buddhism, right? Is it Buddhism would be the next one after that? But, Jews, there's not very many, Jews. So that, comparatively speaking, the penises that are in harm's way due to Judaism are just, minute in comparison to the actual dicks that are snipped by Muslims all over the globe. And people forget that. So penises should be mad at Islam a little bit more than maybe they are, especially in the West. We don't think about it. But the story's not going to center on religious-based circumcision, because if you believe that God wants you to whack the top of your weenie off, that's your business. We don't have much truck with those kind of myths. But if that's your gig, go ahead and pinch your pecker in Pakistan for whatever reason. We're talking about with the myth of circumcision that keeps it in mainstream America in the AMA with this vague statement about maybe it's good, maybe it's good, kind of not really an endorsement, but not coming out against it in any way, which would seem obvious given that it's, again, 2017, no other industrialized nation with actual medicine in its repertoire for society does it to men. There's no reason to just be cutting the head of your dick off when there's no medically indicated reason. It's pretty easy. If it's dirty, you clean it. If it's infected, you treat it. If it's cancerous, then you snip it off. If it's none of the above, you leave it alone. If you're like, well, it might get dirty, it might get infected later, it might lead to, well, so, we don't cut breasts off because you need to clean underneath them, and they might get cancer down the road. So when there's lopping breasts off of people on scare tactics that they might get cancer later, or that they're dirty and they require cleaning, yeah, if you have a dick, you got to clean it, So we're going to look at why circumcision persists, how it got started, why it persists, and the growing backlash against it. Backlash, penis.